Welcome to the podcast. I'm Owen and I'm your host. Today I'm talking to Alex Eisengart, who's a 15-year-old wildlife and bird photographer. To start off, just give us a little bit of a bio. I mean, I could do it, but it's better coming from you.
Yeah, so my name is Alex and I'm 15. Actually, my birthday's today. Um, I'm based in Northeastern Ohio and I'm mainly a bird photographer. I do a little bit of macro here and there, but basically just birds. Yeah, I got started like late December or early December of 2019. My dad was just like taking me out to parks and he's like, "You want a camera?" And after thinking about it for a little while, I'm like, "Sure, I'll take a camera." And then it just kind of blossomed from there.
Nice. Is your dad a photographer?
Yeah, so he does some photography. He's not like as into it as me, but he takes me to a lot of my locations and stuff like that. So
Right. Did he get started when you got started?
no, so he's been doing it for actually a while now, just not like, so he goes out to a park every now and then, takes a few photos. And then when I got into it, he started to get more into it because I was like dragging him out with me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I can relate to that. I also drag my dad with me.
Is he also a photographer or birder?
Not yet. I'll
Yeah,
convert him eventually.
yeah.
But yeah, I have a similar starting. I probably started a little bit before you, but not too long. So you haven't been shooting that long, but your style is like pretty unique. How did you like develop that? Was that
So at first,
intentional or did it just like
no,
happen?
no, not really. At first, I kind of just started taking photos, just like when I first got my camera, we like put up a bird feeder, and I went to a local park with the bird feeder, and I was just getting ID shots. I didn't think they were ID shots. I thought they were like really good, and I saw like a song sparrow. I thought it was like the rarest thing ever. And I was like just shooting down on it, and then then like I did a little bit of experimentation with like eye level and stuff, where I got down eye level with some sparrows, not knowing what eye level was, but I just kind of thought it looked cool. And then I didn't actually know it was a tactic, so I didn't do it on most of my images. And then I got added to a photography group chat, and they started teaching me a little bit how to take photos. So then I like learned how to get eye level, and then after I learned how to get eye level, it like opened like a whole new world to me. So I started taking stuff that I thought looked good. So it's kind of like I wasn't going for any specific look. But
Yeah, that's cool. I feel like that's how it happens for a lot of people too. But your style's like
yeah,
really cool. I really like how a lot of your photos have a really soft, like almost pastel background. I think that's really cool.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I just from whenever I started editing photos, I would like start to play with the backgrounds, and then I, I like pushing the exposure a lot on my images, to kind of give it that look to it.
How much do you edit your photos?
So I've actually backed off the editing a little bit, and then like very recently, I like started doing a tiny bit more. It used to be I would like find a photo and then remove every stick from it, so just a bird on a branch. And I've started to like now when I'm taking the photos, the birds are just on the better perches, so I don't have a need to do that. Um, but so for a while, I was just like very basic edits, like I would remove some sticks here and there, and then other than that, it's just basic editing. But I got a new like type of Capture One, which is the editing software I use, where you can like there's like a magic brush. So you select a pixel or like a group of pixels, and then it finds all the stuff that looks like that. So now, and I really learned how to like edit harsher image, like harsher lighting better. So I've started to get working with that a little bit on this new Capture One, where I can like it's a photo with harsh lighting. I can just go and like just decrease the highlights, maybe increase the shadows, and make it look more soft.
Yeah. What is the software you use?
It's called Capture One
Oh,
Pro,
I've
and
never
not
heard
a
of
lot of
that.
people use it. Yeah, no, not a lot of people use it. I use the one for Sony, so
Oh,
I
right.
think they have one for Canon, but
Huh. Have you tried using Lightroom?
everyone talks about it, and like I
Yeah.
haven't tried it. I mean, I'm sure I could, and it'd be great, but like
I'm just wondering if yours is
I
better.
already
Maybe
have
I should
Capture One,
switch.
so why?
Yeah, maybe you know
I don't know.
something
I
everyone
like
else
it. I
doesn't.
like it. Yeah, I don't know. It has like a nice healing program, so you can remove stuff. I think Lightroom's slightly better at that. But yeah, this new like magic brush they added is really cool. I like that.
That is cool. Is it like designed for photo like light editing, or does it have more Photoshop-y
Um,
features too?
it's a lot less Photoshop. It's more just like basic edits and things like that. Yeah, because I was also considering getting like a actual Photoshop, and I decided against it because I'm like, how much am I really gonna use this? But
Right.
if you want, I can share my screen and show you the actual magic brush.
That'd be sick.
Yeah,
I've never seen it. Like I don't know. I've always used Lightroom.
yeah. So here's capture one. Let me just go to an image I've already. Okay, so for this Ningo right here, haven't posted this one yet. Um, let's just say I want to brighten the bird specifically. I can just click this magic brush right here. Looks like I actually already did that. So okay, and then take some time to calculate it, but all the pixels that looked like it just selected. So if I keep on going and I can like, brush through the Aninga, it actually does a pretty good job just selecting. So that's like a quick way, I just got like the majority of the Aninga. Of course, I could work longer at it and then do whatever edits I want to it. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's really cool. I've, that's yeah. I mean, it works. It's
Yeah,
like you don't really need to use what everyone else uses if it works. How did you hear about that? I've like never really heard of that.
capture one.
Yeah.
I have no idea. My dad used it and he's like, well, you're starting photography, you're gonna get capture one. And I was like, all right. And I kind of assumed everyone used it because that was just the first thing I saw. And
Right.
then I learned, so I was like, oh yeah, Lightroom's another one. I thought it was like the two competitors. I didn't realize no one uses Lightroom. I mean, no one uses Capture One.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. So I want to talk about gear a little bit. What setup do
Mm.
you shoot with?
So I shoot with a Sony A6400, and then I have the Tamron 150 to 500. But fun little story. So I was shooting. I was on Lake Erie in February of 2021, I think, and I was shooting just some ducks and like this. The lake is like covered in ice. So if we were on like 10 feet of ice. I didn't even realize we were on like such a thick thing of ice. So I get down to the water and there's like a little thinner piece of ice. And on top of it, there's a coot like standing on top of it eating a fish. And I'm like, I have to get eye level with this thing. It's eating a fish. I got like this amazing background. So I go to get eye level and the ice from right under my camera breaks. So like, because I thought the coot standing on it, my camera will be fine. So the camera falls in the water and like everything up to my wrist was in the water. So like I didn't fall in. That's all I care about. As soon as I take it out, the whole thing is embedded in ice. Like it just immediately froze. So I kind of I run out with my camera covered in ice, and we spent all this time trying to save it. But this is it now. So I ended up breaking the A6400, and my lens I actually had I will still have it, a I think 150 to 350, or no, 75 to 350 Sony G lens. I saved that, but I was considering upgrading and I decided I actually really just liked the A6400, so I stuck with it.
Oh man, that's tough. Right into the
Yeah.
water. Oh, that's
Oh,
what I'm
I
always
was just
scared
like,
of.
I broke my camera. Uh,
Yeah. So you just stuck with the same camera. How come?
yeah.
You just like it enough?
So I was thinking I need the APS-C because I want to get that extra reach. And then at the time I was a little bit smaller and weaker, so I was like, if I want to get more reach with a full frame, then I'm gonna need like one of my dad's lens, which massive 600 6.3 lens. And then I was just like, it's light, it's easy to use. I've already gotten some pretty good shots with it, so might spend more money. then actually something a lot of people don't think about, like the viewfinder is on the side of the camera. So like I don't have to worry about my nose bumping the screen,
Right?
which I don't know. My dad's camera has the this thing like in the center. And every single time I put it up, I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah, exactly. I have the same
Yeah.
camera.
Oh, A6400.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It takes nice pictures for sure. And it's
Yeah,
like,
it does. You're liking it?
oh yeah, at the price, it's like I don't think you can beat it. I mean,
No.
maybe like a full frame with a 600, but I've got the Sigma 100 to 400, so I don't really want to get a full frame and lose that like 200 millimeters of extra reach.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the funny thing about that is I was like, for a while, I was saying, oh, my dream setup is the A1 with the 600 f4 prime. So I went to the biggest week in American birding, and I went to Hunt's Photo and had a little booth there. This guy named Gary, he let me try to like just holding the whole setup. I think it's like $20,000 total,
Oh
and
my.
I was just shooting some red winged blackbirds with it because that was what's in front of me, and like just holding it like this was hurting my wrist just from
Dang.
like holding it up. So you really need a tripod for that kind of thing. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure I would upgrade.
Yeah, you can't just like mess around with it and just like keep it with you.
Yeah, and like to get eye
Also,
level, I'll like hold my like I won't lay down, but I'll like crouch down and like hold this below me and flip out the screen like that. Can't do that with this A1, you know.
no. Also, like you wouldn't want to with a
Yeah,
setup that expensive. That's
well that's true.
crazy. How was that? That what's it called? The biggest week?
Yeah, the biggest week. It's really good. A lot of good people there. The boardwalk does get pretty crowded. Um, but the nice thing about that is you don't have to find the birds yourself. You know, you can, but like you just see how much people are crowding and you just be like, what's there? And they'll tell you.
Right.
So that's kind
That's
of nice
really
about it.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some like social media stuff. I follow Gary too. Um,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, it seems so cool, but I don't know. Not something I've gone to yet. We'll see.
Where are you right now?
I live in Maine.
Okay, well, that's a little harder to do.
Yeah, it's kind of far.
I have, yeah, I also met this guy named Chris, Christopher Smith, and he came all the way from California for it. But I know most people aren't doing that.
Yeah, that's quite a distance.
Yeah.
What is it? It's just like a convention?
So, um, there's an official Biggest Week American Birding Festival, and they like lead walks. They have workshops, talks. Like I led a workshop with them, and then and that covers like a large just like area of Northwest Ohio. So there's like a place called Oak Openings, which is like an hour away. They have bird walks there, but the main focus is right on the boardwalk, and on the entrance drive to the boardwalk, they have like a place they sell cameras and stuff, little like booths. And yeah, the biggest week is just to lead the bird walks and do the events. But then the actual boardwalk is just it's a boardwalk with almost surrounded by trees and shrubs, and there's just tons of warblers. And that's open to everyone. So there was lots of people just on the boardwalk for fun. Yeah.
That's really cool. That sounds like heaven. That boardwalk.
Yeah, it was.
So you said you led a workshop. How did you end up doing that?
So I actually led a workshop in San Diego with Chris, the guy who came to McGee Marsh. It was funny because I went to California where he lives and he came to Ohio where I lived. Um, and we led one with the San Diego Birding Festival. So that one went really well. And then Gary has connections with the Biggest Week because he has a booth there and he knows the people. And it was a volunteer workshop, so he just offered to let me lead one and at Mommy Bay State Park. So I accepted and basically did it through Gary.
That's really cool. That's such a
Yeah.
sick experience being able to lead a workshop, especially
Yeah.
like a real thing like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
What's your favorite? This is just kind of a random question. What's your favorite bird to photograph? Or favorite animal? I guess it doesn't have to be a bird. It's probably a bird.
Animal. So my like my sister for my birthday got me like some stickers of birds to put on my computer, and she got me a woodcock, an American woodcock. That's probably my favorite. So they're just so funny. And I had a really good experience with them once. Or I'll share this photo. And then after that, like I really just like any shorebird with a long bill, but
Oh
I
wow.
was able to find the woodcock so close to home, and it's everything about them is just hilarious. Like from from the bill, the eyes, like do like a little dance when they're walking. Um, like they're have you ever heard their call?
No, I haven't.
You have okay, I gotta search this up to show you this. Um, they what they do is that they have a display. So they to attract mates, um, they just fly right up into the air and do circles, and like their feathers make a whistling noise, and then they'll just come and just fall right at the sky, land on the ground, and start doing what it's called a paint. Let me share this with you. It's just so crazy.
That's so strange. That must be so cool to see.
Yeah.
Have you ever
All right,
seen
we're
this
already
in
getting mad,
person?
but the paint, I've
Yeah.
it's just so crazy. So I've heard the paint in person, and I've seen them do their little dance. I can find the dance. Do you want me to find it?
Sure. Might as well.
So, yeah, they. So I've seen them do the dance. I got a video of it. But yeah, it's just they're just so crazy. Like in every way possible, they just find a way. To, like keep on learning about them. It's their babies do the dance. It's just like they move back and forth. Um, yeah, it's just everything about them. They're
That's so
also
cool.
really elusive. So when you do get a photo, it's like really rewarding because
Yeah.
they're like they like stay in the thicket all the time. They're nocturnal. Sorry, still looking for the photo.
Yeah. 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 They're so cool. I've never gotten to photograph one. There's one that's like around my house for sure.
Oh,
My parents have seen it a couple times, but I've
they
never
have.
gotten to, yeah, never gotten to photograph it.
Here, let's
What
do
is
this
that?
little dance. So every single March in this cemetery, just in the center of Cleveland, they show up. And this year we had like crazy southerly winds in the beginning of March, just like right when their migration started. So there was like 20 woodcocks just all in the cemetery. And the problem is it's surrounded by buildings. So if you flush one, there's like a chance it could hit the window and die. Because they think that because their like eyes are so far on the side of their head, they can't see in front of them. So I don't know how they weave through the forest, but so anyway, I was like trying to get a photo, and then people like not trying to scare them. They were just people at the cemetery, like walking through and just like scaring them left and right. So I ended up leaving because a year before also I'd already gotten a photo of them. But that cemetery, it's like every year I get it for my year list at that cemetery. Pretty easy to find them there, so I'm pretty lucky about that.
Yeah, that's so strange. Do you know why they like
Yeah.
pick that spot?
I'm not sure. There seems to be a higher concentration of woodcocks in the city. I think it
Hmm.
might be just because it's easier to find there. But what's really strange is we have like other migrant traps along the lake, and they don't like any of them. They only like this one cemetery. My only guess is there's a whole bunch of fallen leaves there, and they use those to camouflage.
That would make
But that's
sense.
just a guess.
Yeah, yeah, that's so random. A cemetery in the middle of a city, like that's not a place I would expect to find a woodcock.
Yeah, it is really weird.
Okay, so how old are you?
I'm
Random.
15.
Wow, you're
Yeah.
so young, very young, and you have some like really sick pictures. You're just like naturally talented, I guess. And you obviously probably shoot a ton and practice,
Yeah.
but that's like a
Yeah, I
short
just
time.
well, the thing about COVID is there was like nothing else to do. So I started out and it was a lot of just like experimentation. And I would say I started out as purely a photographer. Um, so it's just like, I care a little bit about what I'm shooting, but like I haven't shot any of these birds before. So I'm just shooting everything. And as I went, I've gotten to be more and more of a birder than a photographer. So, for example, a brown booby popped up in Ohio, which is like, if you don't know, it's Gulf of Mexico bird
Yeah,
in Ohio.
that's so
So,
random.
I I didn't go to shoot it. This was like 2021, and because I was like, oh, the photo's not going to be that good. But now, like, I would have scrambled to go find that. But yeah, so I would say as I become more of a birder, it's helped me a lot with my photography because I'm shooting different subjects. I'm more excited to shoot different subjects, and yeah, I mean that's probably, I don't know, just a lot of practice.
Yeah, for sure. I think birding is a good way to get better because you're always like going out to find birds, and I feel like it's like low key an addiction.
It is,
I
and
have the same thing.
it's kind of like Pokemon Go too. It's like
Yeah,
you find, different regions have different birds, and then instead of capturing it, you just get a photo, and it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It just keeps you coming back.
yeah, it's so fun. Do you have any tips for people trying to get better at birding and photography?
So I'd say eBird, first of all. I mean, I use eBird so much now. I've started to get more involved in it. That's probably the best way to like find birds because everyone's like, how do you find them? And I'm like, eBird. Um, and then like the eBird Rare Bird Alert is really good. But you really just gotta start learning your calls. And then I'm always alert for birds. Like even if I'm not thinking about it, it always just, I'm always looking for them. So I work at a camp this summer, and we're going to the zoo. Well, there's peregrine falcons at my zoo, so I can, walk the kids and then look over the horizon for a peregrine or something like that. Um, but yeah, I, I would say bird calls is probably the best way to get better at birding. And just especially in the springtime, because eventually you get really happy shooting all the yellow-rumped warblers, but then you want to start shooting the unusual warblers, and you can't just find them in the canopy. You really have to hear them, and then after they're there, then you have to look for them. Or also, before I go birding, I like to think of a target species. So my best example is I went to this random farm field that lets birders bird their field because they got like sunflower field, and they have a sign that says birders welcome. And I met the guy, he's really nice. And I knew I wanted to find snow buntings. So I learned their call, their habitat, everything you need to know about them. And I went out, immediately found the snow buntings because I heard their call, looked out the window, there they are. But then when I found the snow buntings, I also found horned larks. I got to photograph horned larks. I think it's a really good example because even if you're focusing on one bird, you're going to find other birds along the way.
Right. That's really good advice. That's not something that a lot of people think about, I think. And bird calls are also like pretty hard to distinguish if you're like don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah. Uh, I'd say best way to do that is to put um, I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this, name on the call. So, for example, indigo buntings would say like fire, fire, where, here, here.
Oh
And
yeah.
like, how they say um, common yellow throat say witchetty, witchetty, witchetty. If you just put like an actual word to like in the call, it can really help you because you're like, what is that bird? What goes witchetty? Oh yeah, common yellow throat.
Huh. That makes a lot of sense. I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh,
mnemonics, I think.
mnemonics, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. My favorite one is the tohi that says drink your tea. Every single
Huh.
time I hear drink your tea, I immediately know. Actually, I'll play that one so you can hear it. All right, here's Eastern.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. So every single time I hear that, I go, someone said drink your tea. And yeah, I think it really helps.
Yeah, I think so too. The one that I think a lot of people have heard is probably the barred owl, right? Like the who cooks for
Yeah.
you. I think that's like the most common one,
Yeah.
but
That's a good one.
that's really
And
smart.
yeah, actually that a barred owl is kind of hard though, because I always hear that and I immediately go, is that a barred owl or a great horned owl? Because they say the
True.
same thing, it's just lower.
Yeah,
But
right. I mean, I feel like a lot of places, it's a fair assumption to make that it's a barred owl just because of the frequency of them, but
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I've only heard great horned owl sing once, actually. So every other time it's been a bard.
Where was that?
The great horn.
Yeah.
So this place, well, I'm not supposed to give out owl locations, am
Yeah,
I?
fair.
But but
Don't worry, I'm not gonna be going to Ohio, and I don't think most people will be.
like start driving to Ohio. Oh, where is that owl? Yeah. No, so it's this place and it's a whole bunch of like flooded forests. So during most of the year, it's under like a few inches of water, which is really weird because it feels a lot like a cypress forest, but with oak trees.
Huh.
So I would have expected that to be barred owl habitat, but I think the great horns drove them out.
Huh. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Owling is something I've not done much. They're
No,
just like,
I more get it for the year list and then
yeah, exactly. So do you have a favorite photo or a photo that just has a really interesting story?
wow. I have a lot of photos and I don't know. I always get that question and I would say I don't. I have some ones that just I really like and
Yeah.
stand out to me. So don't I'll show a few of those.
Yeah, let's do it.
Um, yeah, so I'll just show I was recently in South Carolina, so I'll show something from South Carolina. So here's a tricolored heron.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I mean I would say I like this one because I came out multiple times to get this photo. So I was on an island that was along the coast and I used I had a bike. Luckily, we drove 12 hours with a bike on the back of our car. So I was able to go out whenever I want and find whatever I wanted to. So I just kept on going back to these heron roosts. And these tricolored heron just kept sitting in the bush. And it was really hard because you can't shoot tricolored heron in full sun because they're a blue bird. So when you have like that warm lighting, it looks really weird. So and also you don't want total clouds because you want to get that glint in the eye and
Right.
the glow on the feathers. So it was a really hard balance. And then one day the stars aligned and I got the shot. So let me show you what it looked like when I have full sun.
Yeah. That's a really nice shot.
It
It was
just it
definitely worth it.
thank you. Yeah. Here's full sun. It's still a good shot, but the colors just look a little bit weird compared to having
Yeah.
like more cloud cover. So when I got
Yeah.
this, I was like, why does it look so weird? I was all confused. And then it kind of clicked.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And then let's see if I can find another one. So I really enjoy shooting shorebirds more than anything. It's just something I've always loved to do. Um, because I live in Ohio and we do have I have a Great Lake. So that definitely helps me find birds, like shorebirds, but it's still Ohio. So I don't get that many. It always just feels special whenever I found one. I've gotten a lot better at finding them, but it just still feels so special. So when I go to the coast and I'm just sitting there staring at like so many shorebirds, it just blows my mind every time. Because here I'm lucky to see like one or two, and then I just have like 50 or 60 on the beach. And that was the case for these marbled godwit. And I was just freaking out the whole time.
Yeah, that's a really nice shot. How did you choose that
Thank you.
composition with like the background?
So that's actually really funny. Um, I saw a picture from Ray Hennessy,
Oh
and it
yeah.
was a marbled godwit with some crazy colors in the background. And I was like, I'm going for sunset. There's marbled godwits here. I need to get those crazy colors in the background. So I'll show you. I tried a few different things, but that was the closest one to his. He framed his differently, and I liked how he cropped his. But I had some clouds. So I was trying to incorporate those, but yeah, I was just the whole time I was out there, I was thinking I could get that Ray Hennessy shot whole time.
Yeah,
So that's what I was going for.
that's cool. It's not definitely nice to have like a shot to I guess mimic after. Just get take inspiration from. It's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I so when I first started out, and I was like go out and try to find the bird, get a shot. But now I've tried to like have a shot in mind a little more when I get out there. And of course, it changes depending on your conditions. But having a shot in mind kind of helps me a little bit.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because then you have like an
Yeah.
actual goal as opposed to just trying to find something.
Yeah. And here, I'll show you one more. Now, this is, I feel like a little bit more of an overlooked bird when it comes to like people have really got into taking a lot of photos and birding. But there's just a black-capped chickadee. Uh, when I like go to shoot these, I'm normally like they'll eat out of my hand, but I'm shooting with 750 millimeters, so all the shots look the same. So I decided that it's not scared of me. So I put some peanuts on this little log here. I think this was in March, and I just got really close to it and then zoomed out all the way on my lens, and it gave it a really cool look, and it's like crazy sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. That's so nice.
Yeah,
Chickadees are
yeah. I
so
would
much
say,
fun.
yeah, they are. Love them.
They're so like, I don't know, playful, I guess. And they're just so comfortable with humans.
Yeah, it reminds me. We have like tufted titmice that do the same thing, and just feeding them in the winter. I love it.
Oh, really? The tufted titmice around here are like really finicky.
Really.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's kind of
No,
interesting.
ours. Yeah, I mean, during the winter, sometimes the bird I feed the most out of my hand is the titmouse.
Huh. That's so cool.
Yeah, and we also have like a nuthatch stays out of our hand at this one park, and it's like the holy grail. Like everyone goes out there. It's like I got the nuthatch because there's only 3 species that do it. Yeah. So
That is a cool
this was
shot.
one. Thank you. This is like just two blue jays fighting over peanuts, and it was just like the dead of winter, and like these birds were just starving. Like I went out there and I felt terrible. Like everything was just starving, and like we just put some peanuts on the railing, and everything started going crazy. So I was just doing what I like to call spray and pray. Put the peanuts down, hold the shutter. 1 out of 300 shots is good, but you only need one. So
Right. You're bound to get at least one good shot.
yeah,
You
I mean, I
definitely
this was a
did.
miracle. This was uncropped. Like
Oh, wow.
the frame after this, I cut out the blue jay. Like, I think it's like feathers got cropped out. Like this was just a miracle that
Yeah.
nothing got cut out of the frame.
Yeah. That's like perfect. That's sick.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
super cool. All right. So this timer says we've got 3 minutes left.
All
Uh,
right. Well,
last thing. If you could recommend one thing for people to buy to help them with photography or anything really, I guess, that's under $100, what would it be?
okay. So first thing is a bird feeder. It helps the birds out so much. I've gotten really cool birds at my feeder, especially during migration, like purple finch and indigo bunting, common redpoll, so like in pine siskin. So if you have a feeder, I live in like the middle of suburbia. Just make sure you keep your feeder up during migration, especially during May when you would think the birds don't need it. Because I thought the birds wouldn't need it in May, but so many birds were using it in May. So that's like probably biggest tip. Always keep your feeder up unless it's like maybe the middle of July, like right now. And then second tip, put a stick, like just a big stick right next to your feeder. So the birds, before they land on the feeder, a lot of times they like to stage and decide if the feeder is safe to go on. So if you just put a big stick with like a nice background on it, you'll get those like shots that have those creamy backgrounds you know and so I
Yeah.
like to do that a lot. And that's, I mean, the stick's free.
Yeah, right.
So
All right, cool. That's a good answer. I like that. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. You want to
yeah, thanks for having me. This was
plug your
really good.
socials?
All right. So on Instagram, I'm kid with a Sony. That's an underscore after each word. And that's pretty much all I do right now is Instagram. So
Looks like we're at the end of the episode. Please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube and subscribe and leave a review on all podcast platforms. Peace.